Now, one thing for the general stock market is that we are expecting the market to test the new Fed chair. 10 out of the last 13 Fed chairs have seen a greater than 10% drawdown in their first year as a Fed chair. So, again, that's just something we want to be aware of in terms of the general stock market. If and when we get a new Fed chair, the market may test him to say, okay, Kevin, I know you said you don't want money printer go burr, but what if we push the market down 10%? What do you think then? And a 10% drawdown from where we are now, guys, that's around on SPY, that's around 612, 613 under the 200-day moving average. So that's if we were to draw down 10%. Now again, 10 out of 13 have had a greater than 10% drawdown in their first year. So this is something, again, I just want to be aware of and I want to have a plan for. And that's where our next section of the webinar comes in. Because if we are going to continue to be in a sloppy, choppy market, I don't want to just sit on my hands. I don't want to just sit here and watch price go down. There are trades I want to do. There's potential swings that we can make where we are swinging into a bear market rally where it can hold for a couple of days. Now that would be ideal. But again, you got to have a plan for it. And so I think the plan really starts with position size. I want you guys to really focus on your position size while we're in this choppy, sloppy market. So I have a few slides here that I want to talk about to help you manage risk accordingly in this choppy market so that you can continue to trade, stay in flow, and then when the trend does change, ideally already have some pilot positions that you can then add to as opposed to sitting on the sidelines going, oh, I know Bitcoin's going to 1 million, but it's at 73 now. I should just put it all in now and hope for the best, right? That's not what I want. I want you guys to be able to trade this market effectively. And to do that, I think one of the major success pillars is position size. Position size will make or break a trade, especially when that trade is volatile. And this is something, trust me, I've had to learn the hard way. And so, this is coming from my years of experience of messing up good trades because I was too big, even though I was right on the idea. And that too big size can it can ruin a great trade, especially when the trade is chopping sideways and essentially not doing anything wrong. It's just doing this. That's all. It's doing what it was doing before. And so to do that, we need to look at a few things, and one of which is your stop loss width. And so if you are going to have a smaller position size, it allows you to have that wide stop because now all of a sudden you're not buying 1,000 shares and being like, oof, I can't let it drop $1 because then that's $1,000 I'm down. I don't want to lose $1,000 right now. But if you instead buy 100, whoa, now you got that wide stop. Now I can give this thing $10. And within that $10, I can decide if I want it or not. Or I can decide where my stop is or whatever it might be. And so what you really want to focus on, guys, is that small position size because it allows you to have that wide stop loss. And again, in sloppy, choppy markets, that's what you're going to need. Look at the volatility just in Bitcoin yesterday. The volatility in Bitcoin yesterday was unreal. We had a ranging bar that opened at, was a high of 79 and a low of 72 yesterday. High 79, low of 72. I mean, how in God's name are you expected to trade something like that because of that wide range? You can't, right? You can't do it with a risk management system. And so position size is the thing that's going to help you stay in flow with the market. So if you do feel the need to trade, now I'm not going to tell you not to. I'll send out my ideas when I see my ideas. But if you're like itching, chomping at the bit, the way you save yourself from yourself is small position size. And so to get that small position size, the way you want to do it is to break up your account. What I did is I have taken I've done this rule. I've taken $5,000 and I put $5,000 on a different crypto exchange other than kind of where my main crypto bag is right now, my cash position in crypto. So 1% risk in a different crypto exchange. So I'm not even tempted to touch my big bag. And now I got $5,000 to play with. And I'm going to treat that as that's my account size. And why do I want to do that? Because I know myself and I know I can get a little itchy here and be like, oh, I just buy 20 grand more. I should just buy 20 grand more. What the hell? I see the volume. The confirmation's there. You know what I mean? And so you want to protect yourself from yourself. And the way you do that, especially in crypto, it's really easy because you can have two different crypto exchanges. You can have Coinbase, you can have Kraken. Unless you're Henry, who was banned from Kraken, we don't know why. But you can have two different crypto exchanges or two different accounts, or take your cash USDC position and put it in a wallet, and then you have your trading money on the exchange. And then as the trade works for you, let's say it's 5 grand, instead of just 100 like on this chart here. Okay, well now my 5 grand position is working. Now I'm getting sucked into more of the trade. Oh, look, the trend is changing. Okay, I'm going to slowly move money out of my wallet back onto my exchange, and then get these trades going because the market structure has changed. And so you can do it with any size account. Obviously, this example, I don't know where you're at in terms of crypto. Some people have $1 million stock accounts, but they have a $10,000 crypto account. So I just figured let's do $10,000. That's 1% risk. That means with every trade, you're only risking $100. And you can do that. I mean, this is a great calculator for managing your position size in this environment where, okay, I think we've taken a big flush. If you look at any chart on Bitcoin, it flushes, then it kind of chops around a bit, then sometimes it tests the upper end of the range, and then it flushes, right? That's the typical bear market structure. And so we just had a couple of days of straight down. So the probability in my mind is, okay, it's probably going to chop around and try and test the upper end of the range, maybe hit 79,000, maybe hit 82,000 before a potential whoosh rebound flush. So that's where you're like, okay, I think, we've had a lot of liquidations. We've had some of the leverage flushed out. You know what? Maybe we'll try a little rebound trade here if I get rewarded, et cetera, et cetera. And so that's how you can use this calculator to kind of stay in flow and trade some of those ups and downs, even if it isn't like a nice clean base or, one of the patterns that I talk about in my swing trading course, which I know many of you have taken, and I'm super grateful for that because that course is really a foundation for my trading. It is what has helped me make all of my money in the market. And it's not doing the course, not doing the things in the course that's always caused me to lose that money. So just want to be aware of that. Follow the system. The system works. And if you need a position size system, this one works. This will keep you in something that's choppy, but give you enough space where you're not getting crushed and giving back a lot of the gains that you may have made over the last couple of years at Crypto Market Mentor. Now, one thing to remember is that if we are in a crypto winter, and I believe we are because we're under all the key moving averages consistently, that the sloppy execution will kill you, especially on thin assets. If you look at some of these crypto assets, Scott McGregor from Lethbridge, Alberta, Canada, has moved the price on some cryptos on Coinbase with my size because they're just that thinly traded. And so if you are trading in a thinly traded market, you got to, there's two types of orders, obviously. There's the limit order and market order. And let me tell you, if you just hit market order, Coinbase will screw you. They will screw you. They will just, there you go. And you paid the highest price. And then what'll happen is because you're the only buyer there, the price will then come all the way back down to wherever it was before, wherever the base of trading was. And so you will get screwed with sloppy execution if you're just slamming in market orders. I've seen it. I've done it. And there are times when market orders are great. If things are going up and trending up, you're not going to get filled on a market order. But in a bear market and a sloppy market like we're in right now, set limit orders. Okay, I think Bitcoin is going to hold at 73,376. I'm going to put a limit order there. Let's see if I get filled. Oh, drop down under yesterday's low. Okay, I'm out. That's a limit order. But if you just slam in with a market order, my friend, Coinbase, Kraken, doesn't matter. These crypto exchanges will screw you. So that's all about that. Again, it happens. It's happened to me all the time with some of these thinly traded assets. Dash, when I was trading Dash, man, I was moving Dash with like 30, 40 grand, just like moving the price. Whoosh, there it goes. And no longer am I going to just take it from Coinbase. So just be aware of that. And then also look at the no man's land rule. If you miss your entry by specific percentage, you just got to let it go, baby. It's a sniper trade anyways, and you don't want to be chasing your target through the woods if you're doing sniper type trading. You wait for the next target. And then, of course, finally, cash is a position. And I want to remind you that being in 100% cash is a full-on position. And that's something that you can just be in, especially with Coinbase. At least right now, you can gain interest just by holding USDC stablecoin. You can make money from that. So to wrap this up, you want wide stops, you want a small size, and you want to enter with half sizes. So if you want to get to 100, you're not buying 100 right off the bat, you're buying 50. If you want to get to 50, you're not buying 50 right off the bat, you're buying 25. That's how you do it, guys. That's how you survive in this market. And that's really what we're trying to do. We're just trying to survive until the trend goes up again. Now, I do believe that that's going to happen. I don't think it's over for Bitcoin. I don't think it's over for crypto. I think we're just in a weird market environment right now that is punishing cutting edge technology. And I do believe typically that the crypto market leads the stock market. And so if we're seeing a full out bear market in Bitcoin, again, that leads me to be super cautious on the general stock market because we saw that before. We saw the crypto market break down in 2022. And it wasn't until, I think, let me go back on the chart here. It wasn't until, or sorry, we saw the crypto market break down in 2021, but it wasn't until 2022 that the stock market followed. So here we are, you could say, well, Bitcoin broke down in October of 2025. That's where we broke under the 200-day moving average. Let's see, if we're looking 4 months ahead, that could be March. That could be, who knows when we see the stock market potentially pull back and follow Bitcoin lower, because that's what happened last time. We saw it break down in 2021, October, November, January, February. We're in a bear market on stocks. So just want to be aware of that. Not predicting, but I'm looking at what's happened in the past and saying, this makes me think Bitcoin could go lower. This makes me think stocks could creep lower. So survive this period of time. We want to be able to compound our gains when the trend turns, having as big of an account as possible. And you can experience account leakage by being early, trying to pick bottoms, or assuming that it should hold at a certain level because it did yesterday. We don't know that. We don't know that. Bitcoin's down near the lows today. We could easily break under yesterday's low or test yesterday's low and rip up to 82. We saw that volatility yesterday, right? We saw Bitcoin at one point down 5,000, and then we saw a face ripper short rally in just an hour or two. I was out for lunch. I was having lunch, and as I went for lunch, Bitcoin turned on the low yesterday and went up $4,000 in, I don't know, what was it, 2 hours? So be aware of that. That volatility can happen, but it's the daily chart signals that are going to signal to us, okay, it might be trying to change the trend now.